Hello, we are back on the Geek Show for our section 3 about Percy Jackson, and we thought we'd have a nice little debate. I mean, I say debate, it's not really much of a debate, you know. Debate says that both sides have an equal chance of winning.
We're both on the same side when I
I know, we're just going to be debating.
So I don't know who you're trying to
But then again,
debate against.
We're preaching to the choir because majority of people will admit that, you know, the movies are better than the books. No, sorry. Whoa! I said that completely wrong. You look ready to kill me. Sorry, listeners. You may have fainted from shock right there from that one phrase. But I was just going to say that the books are better than the movies.
By a long shot. I cannot believe you just said that.
I can't believe I just said that.
But yeah, when you said it, it took me like a couple of seconds to register that you'd said that.
I know, I think I paused and looked
at you. And then
I
was like, oh, hold on a second.
I think I paused and then looked at you and went, maybe
no, you did.
Abe's not noticed.
No, I did. I did. And I was like, did Rose just say that?
Oh my god, no. Right, so yeah, well, let's give our opinions on the...
Why the books are better than the movies. Right. Not the other way. Right.
Okay, let's kick off this debate.
What's not a debate?
Debate's not base discussion. Right, so why do you think that the books clearly are better than the movies?
Because they just make sense.
Makes sense.
There's just a reason why we only got 2 films and a third one was never commissioned. They just fell so flat.
Yeah. There wasn't a magic about them. I think they're trying to recreate Harry Potter, but they kind of failed.
Yeah, it was about that. Because when did the first one come out?
The first one came out shortly after the Harry Potter.
I will quickly Google this.
Right, okay, well, while Em's Googling, I think I'll just talk about why I do think that the books are better than the movies. I just think there was... You know what? I don't like the ending of the second film, just because they couldn't even go out with a little shred of dignity. They had to, like, you know, be like, yeah, third one upcoming. Right, you've now pointed to the phone.
It was 2010, the first one came out, so that would have been the same year Deathly Hallows Part 1 came out. So it was kind of like near the end of the Harry Potter craze. And then the second one came out 2013, which is kind of when like teen fiction like that was quite popular as film.
Yeah, I feel
but
like
it still fell so
growing
flat.
up there was definitely a lot of like teen fiction.
Oh yeah, because you had like Maze Runner,
Hunger Games, Divergent, yeah.
Divergent, the series you realise when you grow up that actually is rubbish.
Yeah.
And Hunger Games.
Yeah, it's like there's a whole bunch of like teen movies that came out.
There's probably
other ones?
Twilight.
Oh yes, there was Twilight.
Oh, no.
We should just show me Twilight at some
No,
point.
I've only ever seen the first film, but never again. One of my friends made me watch it, and I was sitting there going.
I mean, I just think, you know what's weird is that Rick Riordan, usually authors don't really like to quote too much about their thoughts in the movies. They like to stay pretty separate.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that Rick Riordan has been so vocal on how much he disliked the movies.
Yes. Yeah, he's kind of like, no, I don't know they exist. They don't exist. What are you on about?
Exactly. You know, we just pretend they don't exist. And I love how once he actually did release an email he'd sent to the producers.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and it was hilarious. Well, actually, it was a series of them, actually. And just, like, with each one you could sense his failing sense that the books were going to actually be well translated.
No. I think the first big mistake they made was the fact that the characters in the first book are like 11, 12 years old.
Yeah.
And they casted 17, 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
At least 17, 18.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, Percy will reach 21, and you're like, okay, that doesn't match up with the books at all. And people are like, well, you know, you just need to separate the books and the movies from each other because they're not always going to be word for a word.
You just can't.
But you can.
And the thing that I realised when we were doing like our Zoom call last night to plan this show, they don't have the orange camp t-shirts.
Yeah, we were talking because you were like, we were saying...
what do we like about films? I was like, I quite like seeing, you know, the camp and like live action, the orange t-shirts, the Camp Half-Blood, and then you went, I don't think they wear the t-shirts, and I went, I don't think they do.
Yeah, it was that look of realisation.
Shock. I was like, how can you not even have the Camp Half-Blood t-shirts in the film?
It's just...
It's one of the most iconic things.
You know what, it made me... when I watched the movies, I kind of sit there and think that the producers and writers thought that they could write a better story than Rick Riordan.
You just can't.
Which you can. And you know what, I'm all for people coming up with their own original ideas, but if you're going to do that, don't pretend that it's an adaptation of a completely different story.
It just felt so unnatural. It just felt so rushed and just unpolished as well, I want to say.
Yeah, there was just something, and then they had a weird like anti-drugs message like halfway through, and it's just...
Did they?
Yeah, you know, with the Lotus Hotel.
I've not seen these films in years. Like, I've read obviously the books. I'm fresh in knowledge of the books, but the films, I couldn't tell you what was in them.
The movie has a whole like 10 minutes of an anti-drugs campaign shoved in there.
How did I not know about
It's really crazy, and I don't really know if it got through to me because I was just kind of numb by that point. It was just what else? I mean, it's weird because they had such great talent as well. So they obviously had
I couldn't tell you
Sean Bean, who was playing Zeus, Sean Bean, you know.
I couldn't even tell you that he was
They had that guy from Grey's Anatomy.
I've never seen Grey's Anatomy.
He plays a ginger doctor. Oh my god, I don't know.
I bet that narrows it down.
There's only one ginger. Owen, he plays Owen in Grey's Anatomy.
I've never seen Grey's Anatomy.
You need to watch Grey's Anatomy. He's really good. And he actually did kind of do a good job for Poseidon, based on what he was given. They even had the guy that was playing Chiron.
I'm just going to Google the cast right now because I couldn't tell you who's in this.
And then I would even say that the actor for Percy and Annabeth, they went on and done better stuff. So it's clear that they had the cast and they had the talent, but they just didn't have
Pierce
the
Brosnan was Chiron in that?
Yeah, exactly.
That's such a
and then they had this change him round.
Uma Thurman was Medusa?
Yeah, they had tons of people in this movie.
Yeah, the cast is like... Right, because like Steve Coogan was Hades. What the heck? Yeah, the adult cast is like pretty like big, and yet it's still a flop of a film.
I think what people thought was this was going to be the next Harry Potter, which is why they obviously all jumped onto the movie without reading the script by the looks of things. And it was just, it fell flat in so many levels. And usually a lot of
the person that played Poseidon was the person that played Tommy in Trainspotting. I didn't know that, but there we go.
Yeah, he's done like a ton of stuff. But you know what? It fell flat. And a lot of these actors gave great performances on a daily basis. But it's clear that the directing was really not there. Like, it's just... Did I tell you I once wanted to be a movie director? This is halfway through secondary school.
No.
I decided my new career's choice after my idea of cellist fell through. Was I was going to be a film director, and then I looked into how much work they had to do, and there's a lot of work. So then I chose journalism. So that was exactly. Plan D.
What was Plan C?
Oh god, you don't even want to know. So yeah, it's annoying. But then again, what can you expect? So we're just going to say one positive from the film because I feel like we've kind of been bashing the film.
There's that scene in Sea of Monsters is quite funny. It's like when Percy's on the yacht and he's like, get off my roof. I don't know, it just sticks in my mind because he's just standing there, then what's the character? Luke, isn't it?
Yeah,
he looks up and goes, just get off my roof. It's so deadpan that it just makes me laugh.
I mean, I don't know if that's intentionally meant to be funny, but you know, I think one thing I did actually think about, which I kind of liked about the movies, was I know they completely miscast Grover in a sense of age and appearance, but in the first movie he was pretty good. Like he was like a breath of fresh air. Can you imagine what the movie would have been like if they hadn't had that Grover? Yeah, I feel like he did carry that trio of Percy, Annabeth and Grover. That character was the one that carried that trio. Not in the books. The books are all equally amazing characters, but in the film, the other two just felt so flat in characterization that Grover was like definitely the shining one out of the wall. But you know what? I wouldn't even say that that's Grover. That's imposter Grover right there. So
it wasn't even didn't feel like Grover. That's the thing.
I mean, imposter Grover for the first movie is definitely a highlight. Right, and of course, just before we finish up in this section, we should probably talk about the upcoming TV show, which has been announced.
And it's been confirmed as of the last month. So do you think that the new format for TV show will benefit the story? Yeah, I feel like the Percy Jackson books especially feel like they're so much more suited for TV show in the way they're structured. Because you have like quests upon quests, adventures within adventures. It kind of works. You could do it in episode form. And it just gives more time just to focus on individual elements of the book rather than it being like rushed into one like 2-hour film effectively. I think one of the things that you're right in the sense of the format is hopefully it'll allow us to have a bit more characterization, because
one of the things that Percy Jackson books are kind of well known for is making you care about those side characters.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, I didn't know about Charles Beckendorf, but he grew on me.
Yeah, there are so many characters in that
you shouldn't care about every character, but you do.
Even if it's like a minor character death that's like only been like a character only mentioned like maybe twice before, you still feel like, oh, you still feel a bit of emotion for it. Was a bunch of times you just go, oh, I couldn't even tell you who that was type thing. There's a lot of stories.
Extra A.
If there's that, you go, oh no.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the TV show will definitely work in regards to obviously just overall structure and characterization, but also maybe it'll allow us to see those famous Half-Blood t-shirts again.
Yeah.
It'll allow for a bit more detail, which I think sometimes, I will not bash movies. I think movies can be brilliant and they can do all the things we've just mentioned there fairly successfully. It just depends on the story you're telling. Like, I wouldn't ever try and change, I'm trying to think of a TV show that I would want to make into a movie. I wouldn't want Being Human to be made into a movie because it would be very rushed and I wouldn't know what was going on. Some shows are better for TV, some are better for movie, and some are better on the stage. Who knows?
Well, on stage,
you just learned recently that Percy Jackson's got a musical, which I'm kind of upset with you for.
I've always stated that I'm not a big fan of musicals.
I love musicals, especially when they're just so cheesy that you've just kind of got to roll your eyes and clap along with them.
I don't really like cheesy films. So I guess that's probably why I just never came across it, because it's just something I'm not really interested in. So I just was like, oh.
Yeah, so I think we've kind of just definitely come to an agreement that the books are definitely better than the movies, right?
Yes.
And will definitely probably be the thing is, I'm worried that the TV show isn't going to be for my demographic. I've got a feeling it's probably not going to be for us.
I know, I am worried because they're doing age, age casting, so they're going to have, a 12-year-old play a 12-year-old Percy.
Yeah, and not saying I can't get interested in
but I think I'm still going to watch it. Because
we want to see what we missed out on.
Yeah. What could have been.
And envy the youth of today and feel like old grannies while we do it. So that wraps up this section. We'll be back in a minute with our fourth section, which is going to be on the characters, which we kind of briefly touched in, but we're going to go into a bit more depth in that section. So join us, keep listening in, okay? Please.